Hi, in this video we'd like to discuss a rather important and interesting question that we get a lot from our patients. This question originally came from one of our HG patients. This HG patient was suffering from severe nausea, vomiting, and also insomnia, mental restlessness, and she came to our Antai Hospital, received the HG vaccine, and she fully recovered. Now, before she went home, she was asking whether or not she could resume in intercourse during the remainder of her pregnancy, because she was worried that if she did that, the symptoms would come back. And we'd like to use this question and to also address to our general population as well. This video will actually benefit all women during pregnancy, regardless if you have hyperemesis or not. Not only does it benefit HG patients, it can also benefit women who are going on to their first pregnancy or in the midst of their pregnancy already. Now, sex during pregnancy is nothing but beneficial from the viewpoint here at Antai Hospital. Now, we've already dealt with several hundred and thousands of women in the past 2 decades, and we've always given this advice that you should engage in sexual intercourse during pregnancy with your husband or your partner. Now, this can bring several benefits, but today we'd like to mention 3 key benefits on how it can actually improve your lives during pregnancy. First of all, which is a common remedy for another common symptom of pregnancy. HG patients will actually experience this much more deeply because I'm talking about constipation. Constipation is another common symptom that happens to women regardless of not if you have HG, if you have morning sickness. If you are pregnant, you may experience some level of constipation, even though it's only for a short period of time. This is incredibly common, and having sexual intercourse is another common home remedy that actually can help you overcome this constipation without any medical intervention. Now, because the large intestine and the uterus are only separated from a small thin barrier, they're actually situated side by side. Contractions from the uterus, from orgasms, and also regular sex, this can actually cause the smooth muscles of the large intestines to contract as well, and this can actually cause you to develop a reflex arc so that you can actually develop healthy bowel movements. So this is another key point here. We want to advise you to have regular sex actually during pregnancy to actually avoid this constipation. This is something that you can try, and it's definitely beneficial for you who is currently pregnant, and it's definitely way better than going for medication, and this can actually bring more benefits. The second point is that it can actually boost the blood flow to your reproductive system. So because of the orgasmic contractions, the smooth muscles contracting during uterine orgasm, during sex, this can actually rush heaps amounts of blood to the reproductive system, especially the cervix where your fetus is actually situated in, and it can actually boost the developmental progress of the baby, because when there's more blood, that means there's more nutrients, there's more oxygen, and this baby will actually receive much more nutrients, important molecules for it to grow healthily. That's why this is another benefit that you do need to engage in regular intercourse during pregnancy. So it's another common misconception that they believe that sex during pregnancy can cause miscarriages. Now, although they are situated quite closely, but they are actually much more further apart than we than we like to imagine them. And uterine contractions cannot trigger any type of cervical contractions. If you had experienced miscarriages previously, very likely that it was undiagnosed by your doctor. Sexual intercourse is not a cause for miscarriages, so you need to clear up this misconception. Third benefit is more of a social aspect. It can actually greatly boost the relationship between you and your partner, especially during trying periods such as pregnancy, where many people actually avoid sex, and it can actually cause some form of friction in the relationship between husband and wife, partner and partner. And that's why we would like to always recommend having regular intercourse when couples come to us for counsel, for treatment, for assessment. this is another advice that we can actually give them, because it not only can burn more calories during this period of pregnancy, it can actually bring you more happiness, bring you and your partner much more closer together, and you can enjoy this special period where you can welcome your child. These are all very beneficial and will not bring any type of harm to your pregnancy. An important thing to note is that if you observe spotting, a little bit of bleeding, do not be alarmed. However, you do need to get yourself to a doctor for potential assessment. It's very common to actually observe spotting because the cervix is actually very vascularized, and there's a lot of blood vessels, a lot of blood flow to the cervix to support the pregnancy. So if you do observe a little bit of spotting during intercourse or after intercourse, then it could just mean that it's very common and something that you don't want to be alarmed about. However, if it's a sign of a threatened miscarriage, then we want you to immediately get yourself to a doctor. But know that your intercourse was not the cause. It is something entirely different, and this is an indication that a miscarriage might happen, so quickly get yourself to the nearest hospital for medical attention. So I hope this video benefits not only our HG patient who initially asked this question. This can actually definitely benefit most of our pregnant women right now who are going on to their first pregnancy or who are about to go for their first pregnancy. This can benefit regardless of whether or not you're husband and wife. And please do share this video so that more women can actually learn about these and also avoid misconceptions that it can actually lead to pregnancy losses. It only has benefits. So please stay tuned to our next video and also leave me a comment down below.